Okay, good afternoon to one and all. So in intermolecular forces, one we have discussed it in last class. That is, what is that? London forces or dispersion forces. What is the intermolecular forces? What is the intermolecular forces? Anyone?
The attractive and repulsive forces present between interacting particles.
Yeah. The attractive and repulsive forces present between interacting particles is the intermolecular forces. The only attractive forces are the van der Waals forces. In that first one we discussed London forces or dispersion forces. What is the London forces? The attractive forces present between temporary dipoles. So generally, which is present in between atoms or non-polar molecules of the matter, right? So for example, sodium, aluminum, gold, okay, silver, and non-polar molecules like hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen. Okay, remember that which is the non-polar, which is the polar molecule. Which is the non-polar molecule? Which is the non-polar molecule? Polar molecule. It is depending upon the covalent bond again. Okay. So here the covalent bond is two types: non-polar covalent bond, polar covalent bond. Non-polar covalent bond means what is the non-polar covalent bond?
Dipole moment will be zero.
Is it? Polar covalent bond means generally the covalent bond is obtained by the mutual sharing of the pair of electron between two atoms. The mutual sharing of electron between two atoms exactly middle between the two atoms, then it is a non-polar. Okay, that is a polar. The covalent bond is known as the non-polar covalent bond. If the sharing of electron is unequally shared between two atoms, then it is the polar covalent bond, because dipole is raised on the atoms. Dipole means positive pole and a negative pole. Okay, so that means non-polar bonds containing molecule is a non-polar molecule. Polar covalent bond containing molecules are the polar covalent molecules. London force or dispersion force generally present in atoms, in between the atoms, or non-polar molecules. And also we discussed that the interaction energy of London force is proportional to 1 by r power 6. And also it is maximum distance, that is a very short distance it is available, it is existed, that is a maximum approximately 500 picometers, right? So that is about the London force. And second one is next intermolecular forces. The second one is dipole, 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 dipole interaction. In London dispersion forces or London forces, there is a attractive force between non-polar molecules, that is temporary dipoles. Here dipole means generally it is a permanent dipole. So which can be defined as the attractive forces present between permanent dipoles is known as the dipole-dipole interaction. So generally permanent dipole is present in polar molecules. So that's why in another way we can say that the force of attraction present between non-polar molecules, polar molecules is known as the dipole-dipole interaction. For example, if you take HCl molecule, how the HCl molecule will be obtained? The one pair of electron sharing between two atoms, that is one hydrogen and chlorine atoms. Okay, here chlorine is a more electronegative, so that the sharing pair of electron more attracted by the chlorine. So the chlorine will get the partially negative charge and hydrogen will get partially positive charge. So that means here what is happening in HCl molecule itself, there is a dipole is raising. Okay, this is the permanent dipole. Okay, whenever the HCl molecule is obtained, then there will be a dipole. Okay, so due to that, like this, in another HCl molecule also, one more dipole will be present. So here delta plus and delta minus, delta plus and delta minus. Now, when these two molecules are approached to each other very closely, then some attractive forces are rises between these two molecules. Those interaction energy is called dipole-dipole interaction. So generally, we can represent like this. So this is the delta plus and delta minus, means one end is positive, one end is negative. This is one HCl molecule, and similarly, and one more another molecule will be present here. Like this, one end is plus, one end is minus, delta plus and delta minus. This is the another HCl molecule. So due to presence of permanent dipole on different molecules of the same substance, there is a interaction energy. Interaction is takes place. That interaction energy is known as the dipole-dipole interaction. Got it, all of you? Students, understood? Dipole-dipole interaction.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is it clear, all of you?
Yes, sir.
There is 33 students, okay? 3-4 students only are responding. What about remaining students? Who is this? Abdul, Mateen, Akshay, Amruta? Okay. Thank you. So once I repeat, that is dipole-dipole interaction. The force of attraction present between two permanent dipoles is the dipole-dipole interaction. In other words, the force of attraction present between polar molecules is the dipole-dipole interaction. Okay. So here in dipole-dipole interaction also, the interaction energy will be inversely proportional to distance between the interacting molecules. In London force, what is that? 1 by r power 6. Okay, inversely proportional to 6th power of distance between the interaction particles, right? So now here also the interaction energy. What is that? Dipole-dipole interaction energy. Dipole-dipole interaction energy is different way. That is, the first one is in stationary molecules. In stationary molecules. In stationary molecules, which is proportional to 1 by r cube, means inversely proportional to cube of distance between the interacting particles. And the second one is in rotatory molecules. In rotatory molecules, which is proportional to 1 by r power 6. Proportional to 1 by r power 6. That means inversely proportional to 6th power of distance between the interacting particles. Clear it is? So this is the stationary molecules and it is the rotatory molecules. So what is the stationary molecules? What is the rotating molecules? Stationary means the dipole moment is almost 0. Okay. So and in rotatory molecules means there is a dipole moment. Okay. So just means it is in moving along the axis. The molecules are in rotation along the some axis, internuclear axis. For example, here you take HCl molecule. Okay. So these are moving, rotating like this along the axis. Internuclear axis means what is that internuclear axis? In chemical bonding, in valence bond theory, you learned that actually there is no internuclear axis. It is a imaginary line which is obtained by joining two nucleus of the bonded atoms, right? For example, if you take HCl molecule, so here HCl molecule, how it will be obtained? Here the one electron is contributed by the hydrogen and one electron is contributed from the chlorine atom, then you will get the HCl molecule. So those two electrons sharing by the two bonded atoms, then which will get the hydrogen will get the doublet and chlorine will get the octet. Okay, so here this is the nucleus of hydrogen and this is the nucleus of chlorine. So if you join these two nucleus of the bonded atoms, this is known as the internuclear axis. Okay, so here the stationary molecules means there is no movement of the molecule. So that means there is no dipole moment. Generally, we can say that for stationary molecules, the dipole moment is 0. Okay, but in rotatory molecules, along the axis, it will rotate. It will be rotate. Okay, so then that is called a rotatory molecules along the axis. Along the axis, right? Clear it is, all of you? Okay, that means here for rotatory molecules, there is a dipole moment. It is not 0. Okay, clear, Amma? Okay.
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
So now, so this is the dipole-dipole interaction energy. So once repeat, I will that dipole-dipole interaction energy in stationary molecules is proportional to 1 by r cube, and in rotatory molecules is proportional to 1 by r power 6. And beside this dipole-dipole interaction, in between the molecules, there is a London forces also. London forces also exist. So that's why your dipole-dipole interaction energy is more than London forces for the molecules. This is the dipole-dipole. And the next one is third one. You wrote all of this one? Running notes are you writing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now third one is
Sir, 2 minutes, sir.
huh?
Sir, 2 minutes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, 1 minute, sir. Done, sir.
Then okay. Right. Next, third one is dipole-induced dipole interaction. Dipole-induced dipole interaction. Okay. So here, the attractive forces present between permanent dipole and non-polar molecule, that is the temporary dipole, is known as the dipole-induced dipole interaction. So, for example, if you take a dipole HCl molecule only, you take, or AB molecule you take, which having the permanent dipole here. So the one end having the positive, one end having the negative. Okay. So here one non-polar molecule is there. Non-polar molecule means in this the electron cloud is symmetrically distributed around the nucleus. Okay. Here this molecule here AB molecule is there. Okay. So here some XY molecule is there. You consider like that. right? So in this, dipole is there here, delta plus and delta minus in AB molecule. So due to this molecule, the dipole is raised on the XY molecule. Dipole is raised on the XY molecule. Why? Because whenever these two molecules comes to each other very closely, then what will happen? Here the negative charge is there, and electron cloud, nothing but it is also negative charge, which can distort the electron cloud of the XY molecule. So then it will become, like this, unsymmetrical. That electron cloud present on XY molecule will become unsymmetrical. So like this. Here delta plus, delta minus, and here delta plus and delta minus. So here two dipoles is arises. So due to these two dipoles, the attraction is rises present between the molecules. That is known as the dipole induced dipole interaction. Okay. So means one of the molecule is inducing the dipole on another molecule. Due to that, some attractive forces is existing between those two molecules. That's why it is called a dipole induced dipole interaction. Here generally, the dipole is present in a polar molecule, and the induced dipole will be raised on the non-polar molecule. So that's why the dipole induced dipole interaction is present in between polar molecule and a non-polar molecule. Got it? Okay.
Can you tell the definition for this?
Write down. The attractive forces present. The attractive forces present between permanent dipole and temporary dipole. In bracket, you write that induced dipole. Induced dipole.
Sir, temporary dipole.
Huh? Temporary dipole. In bracket, induced dipole of the interacting particles. Of the interacting particles. Of the interacting particles is known as dipole induced dipole interaction. Next point, you write that it is present between polar and non-polar molecules. It is present between polar and non-polar molecules. So here, that is the definition, and the next one is dipole induced dipole interaction energy. Dipole induced dipole interaction energy is proportional to 1 by r power 6. Okay, what I am writing, you can getting proportional to 1 by r power 6. That means what? The dipole induced dipole interaction energy is inversely proportional to 6th power of distance between interacting particles. Okay, so here you can write that r is equal to distance between interacting particles. Interacting particles. Clear, Amma? So next, fourth one is hydrogen bonding. If you have any doubt, ask me. Okay. So for understanding, you can draw this diagram also. This is the interaction energy. Okay. So next one, hydrogen bonding. Fourth one is hydrogen bonding. Okay. So already you learned in chemical bonding what is the hydrogen bonding. What is the hydrogen bonding? Anybody? What is the hydrogen bonding?
When a hydrogen is attached with a less electronegative atom and it attaches to a more electronegative atom.
Yes. The electrostatic attractive forces present between hydrogen atom and more electronegative atom of the different molecules of same substance is known as hydrogen bonding. For example, if you take hydrogen fluoride, here the bond is present between more electronegative atom is fluorine of this molecule and hydrogen atom of this molecule. This is the hydrogen bonding. Why? Because here hydrogen is the least electronegative atom, fluorine is the high electronegative atom. So due to that, what will happen here? The dipole will be raised. Okay. So whenever the dipole is raises between the molecules, some electrostatic attractive forces will be raised. Then it will form some bond. That is bond is known as the hydrogen bond. Okay. So what is the definition over here? Hydrogen bond. It is the electrostatic attractive forces of attraction. Electrostatic attractive forces present between positively charged hydrogen atom and negatively charged more electronegative atom is called hydrogen bonding. So generally the hydrogen bond is present between hydrogen and nitrogen, oxygen or fluorine. So that is a hydrogen bond is present between hydrogen and nitrogen, hydrogen and oxygen, and hydrogen and fluorine. Okay. Why? Because in total periodic table, in total elements, the highest electronegative atom is the fluorine. The second highest electronegative atom is the oxygen. Third highest electronegative atom is the nitrogen. So except these three elements, the remaining cannot participate in the hydrogen bonding. But sometimes the chlorine can be participate in the hydrogen bonding. Okay. So here the hydrogen bonding is different types here again. What is that? Intermolecular hydrogen bonding, intramolecular hydrogen bonding. Intermolecular hydrogen bonding means Navya Kumar. Is clear all of you? Clear, Rama? Navya Kumar. Navya Kumar is there? Okay, once I repeat that, hydrogen bond definition, the electrostatic attractive force present between positively charged hydrogen atom and negatively charged more electronegative atom of the different molecules of same substance is known as the hydrogen bond. For example, here, if you take the hydrogen fluoride is having the dipole moment here delta plus and delta minus, and if you take another molecule, there also dipole moment here. So here, the positively charged hydrogen atom and a negatively charged more electronegative atom of different molecules, there is a hydrogen bond is existed, that is known as the hydrogen bonding. And like that, you can take you can write the hydrogen bonding in water molecule also. So what is that? What is the structure of water? What is the structure of water, ma'am? Bent structure.
Bell shape. Yes, sir.
Bent structure. Okay. So here, if you see this one water molecule, there is a dipole between hydrogen and oxygen. Okay. So that here the bond hydrogen bond is present between two different water molecules, that is one oxygen atom negative charge of the one molecule and positively charged atom of the hydrogen of another molecule. Okay, so depending upon this, the number of hydrogen bonds and strength of hydrogen bond, the properties, that is physical properties of the molecules will be affected. For example, if you take hydrogen fluoride and water molecule boiling points, generally the boiling point is depending upon molecular mass. So if you see the molecular mass of hydrogen fluoride is 20 grams, but water is 18 grams. So here the molecular mass is more means the boiling point also must be more. But in case of hydrogen fluoride and water, the water having the more boiling point than hydrogen fluoride, even though it is having the less molecular mass. Why? Because the association of water molecules takes place through a hydrogen bonding than hydrogen fluoride. Here in water molecule, the hydrogen bonds are twice of the hydrogen fluoride. So in hydrogen fluoride, maximum 6 HF molecules can be associated through hydrogen bonding. But in water molecule, twice of that. That is almost nearly 12 molecules can be associated through a hydrogen bonding. So here, whenever you heat the liquid, then it will goes to the vapor phase. When it will goes to the vapor phase, when you break the intermolecular forces between the molecules. So here, the intermolecular forces are the hydrogen bonding. Okay, so these are associated, the 12 molecules are associated together by the hydrogen bonding. So to overcome this intermolecular force, it required more energy. So that's why the water molecule having the more boiling point than hydrogen fluoride. Got it, all of you? Here, one more point is the hydrogen bond is maximum present between 10 to 100 kilojoule per mole. 10 to 100 kilojoule per mole. Okay, so this is the hydrogen bonding. And the next one more is there which is not present in your NCERT textbook, but sometimes they are asking in competitive examination, that is ion dipole interaction. Ion dipole interaction. Let's see that.
Sir, you explained that 10 to 100 kilojoules per mole, sir.
Huh?
Sir, you explain once again that 10 to 100 kilojoules per mole, sir.
10 to 100. 10 to 100. 10 kilojoules to 100 kilojoules per mole.
So what's
Sir,
that?
what is that, sir?
Hydrogen bonding energy. In between the molecules, hydrogen bonding energy will be present in between 10 to 100 kilojoules per mole. So means it may be 10 kilojoules per mole or minimum, that is a maximum 100 kilojoules per mole. or in between that 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, depending upon molecules, that is. Got it
Thank you, sir.
now?
Yes, sir.
Hydrogen bonding energy, that is. Okay. So now last one more is fifth one. Voice clarity is there?
Video is blurred, sir.
Blurring is coming. Now okay?
Okay, sir.
Voice is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next fifth one is ion dipole interaction. Ion dipole interaction. Okay. So here the attractive forces are exist between ion and dipole. Dipole means it is the temporary dipole. That means which is present in polar molecule. Okay. So then it is known as the ion dipole interaction. That ion may be cation or anion. For example, if you take any dipole, here I am taking this dipole. So one end having the positive charge, one end having the negative charge. Okay. So this is the delta plus and it is the delta minus. Okay, this is the dipole. So ion dipole interaction means here we will have any one ion. For example, you can take the sodium ion Na plus. Okay, if the cation is there, the interaction is present, exists between ion and the negative end of the dipole. Okay, if the anion is present, if the anion is there, for example, chloride ion you take. Okay, so the interaction is present, interaction energy is present between anion and positive end of the dipole. Positive end of the dipole. So this interaction. So this is known as the ion dipole interaction. Okay. So what is the definition of ion dipole interaction? The attractive force exists between ion and dipole. That is the polar molecule is known as the ion dipole interaction. Okay. So now we discussed 5 types of intermolecular forces. Okay.
So
So
can you please repeat the definition?
what?
Repeat the definition, sir.
Definition, write down. The attractive force exists. Attractive force exists between ion and permanent dipole. Ion and permanent dipole. So in bracket you write that polar molecule is known as ion dipole interaction. Ion dipole interaction. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So next one is, what is the order of intermolecular forces here? So the order of intermolecular forces is ion dipole greater than hydrogen bonding greater than dipole interaction greater than dipole induced dipole and the last one is London forces. So this is the order of intermolecular forces. So which is the decreasing order? Okay, means high interaction to low interaction. So this is about the intermolecular forces, and one more energy present between the molecules of the matter, that is thermal energy. Thermal energy. Okay. So thermal energy definition is the energy acquired by the matter due to rotation of atoms or molecules.
Sir, can you repeat, sir?
Repeat, sir.
Okay, write down. The energy acquired by atoms or molecules of the matter is called thermal energy. Means due to rotation of the atoms and molecules. The energy acquired by the rotation of atoms or molecules of the matter. Got it? Okay, by rotation or vibration. Okay, you can write vibration also. So due to the rotation or vibration of the atoms or molecules, which are the particles of the matter, the energy acquired of the matter is the thermal energy. So here, depending upon intermolecular forces and thermal energy, the matter can be exist in different physical states. If the intermolecular forces are very high, then the matter can be exist in solid state. The thermal energy is more, then matter can be exist in gaseous state. The both are in balancing, then it will be exist in liquid state. Okay, so that means here we can write like this. Here solid can be converted into liquid, and liquid will be converted into gas, yes, solid, and liquid to gas, gas to liquid. Okay, so now we can write the predominant of the intermolecular forces and thermal energy. So from gas to liquid, here the intermolecular forces are predominant. Predominant means Emma, what is the predominant? Means greater, means dominating. And from solid to gas, thermal energy. Thermal energy is predominated. Okay, so this is about the intermolecular forces and thermal energy present in matter from solid to gas, gas to solid. Okay, so till now we'll discuss about the intermolecular forces, that is only attractive forces which are exist between the molecules. Okay, and once you compress the gas, which can be liquefied by cooling only by compressing, the gas cannot be liquefied. So by cooling, it can be liquefied. After further compressing the liquid, which cannot compressible. What is the reason here? That means here, along with intermolecular forces in between the molecules, there will be a repulsive forces also. Whenever you compress the gas, it will become liquid, and further compressing, the repulsive forces rises between the molecules due to electron cloud and also repulsion between the nucleus. Okay, for example, if you take these two molecules, the two molecules whenever close to each other, what will happen? The electron cloud will become very close to each other. So electron cloud means it is the negative charge, like poles. right? So both negative charge will be repulsive. So that's why repulsive forces are raises. And also molecules are very close to each other, then like this, then what will happen? The nucleus of the both molecules or atoms will become very nearer to each other. Okay, so that's why nucleus is means what is that? Positive charge again. So due to positive charge of both molecules, again repulsive forces will be raises because the like poles are the repulsive. So that means in a matter between the molecules there is a both intermolecular forces as well as a repulsive forces
Repulsive
are
forces.
the present. So now, but in states of matter, different states of the matter, what is that? Solid, liquid, gas. In this, the main simple state of the matter is the gaseous state. So in this concept, in this chapter, we will discuss mainly about the gaseous state. Okay, why? Because the density of the molecules are very less in gaseous state. Okay, so that's why the properties of any gas molecules at all temperatures and pressures, all conditions will be same. So that's why we are discussing about the gas molecules. Okay, but generally, how can we define that gas character? How can we distinguish the gaseous state of the matter? The first point is it is a there is no shape of and the shape and volume of the molecules in gaseous state, right? So the shape and volume assumed by the assumed of the container which is placed in that. Okay, and second one is low density, and third one is intermolecular forces are very less and the distance between the molecules are very high. Here, gaseous state of the matter. Okay, and one more unique property is there for gaseous molecules, that is diffusion. Diffusion means the spreading of the gas molecules into a available space. So that's why whenever we are using the body perfume, some other fragrances, we are getting some distance also, right? So these are the general characteristics of the gaseous molecules, right? So now let's see some other properties of the gas molecules. So generally the properties, that is measurable properties. What is the measurable properties? What is that measurable properties? Temperature, pressure, volume, and density. These are the measurable properties. So to explain the measurable properties of the gases, there is some laws which is known as the gas laws. Okay. So write the definition of gas laws. Gas laws. Gas laws definition, you write how many gaseous elements we have in periodic table?
11.
11, right? What is that? In first group hydrogen, 15th group nitrogen, 16th group oxygen, okay, and 17th group fluorine, chlorine, and 18th group all are the gases, noble gases. Itself we are what we are telling, noble gases. So many, how many? That is totally 11 gases: hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, chlorine, and helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, and radon. So how many is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So totally 11 gases we have in periodic table. That is at room temperature. Okay. So these are the gases. And now you write to give the relationship between the gases of the behavior. So there is a gas laws. Write down the gas laws definition. Gas laws, the laws which can gives relationship between measurable properties such as temperature, pressure, volume and density is known as gas laws. Okay, so in tomorrow class I will explain the all gas laws. The first one you can put a side heading, that is the Boyle's law. Okay, thank you students. Tomorrow I will continue.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.